are back for another video. Today we're talking about high return rates. Does your listing get a ton of returns? Let's dig in and talk about it. Arvin, we've got you here today. Can you tell us a little bit about what is happening in kind of the return world and what you can do to prevent returns?
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, high return is one of the metrics that Amazon is using right now in assessing your ASIN, if they will allow you to continue selling it or not. So, if you go to the voice of the customer, you will see there if your ASINs have a lot of returns and or complaints from your customer. And it's really important for you to keep reviewing them, take proactive action before Amazon deactivate your listing for, I mean, I wouldn't say it's for no reason, but sometimes your customer will just return it. And the thing is your product detail page really explaining your product really well, or is it confusing for your customer and they're just buying it because either maybe it's cheap or they thought that it is working for what you wrote on your detail page and then eventually returning it? Because if that ASIN has this really high return rate, then Amazon will delist them, and it's really a lot of work to get Amazon to release them, especially if that ASIN have a lot of reviews, or let's say it's performing really well. But yeah, because Amazon is very customer centric. I just really want to talk about that today, on how we can help sellers to prevent it, what to do if your listing got deactivated because of that.
Yeah. So Amazon, the other thing too, Amazon has rolled out, I think it's been in the last 6 months. So in this year in 2024, that badge that says customers frequently return this item or customers usually keep this item. And so those are now new badges on certain categories of product listings. But also it's an algorithm, right, that determines if they're going to delist your product.
Yes, it's algorithm based. So I mean, the first time that this will happen, probably it will not be hard for you to release the ASIN or to make it active again. But if it's a recurring issue, then I would say, yeah, the working with seller support is really tough, and the seller performance team as well.
So
So if you can prevent it, then do it. Yep. Sorry.
how do you prevent it? What are the things you recommend to prevent getting returns and getting your product delisted?
Well, it's always on the product detail page, right? Both on the title, the bullet points, and the images, making sure that you are explaining your products really well to your customers. And if in case you explained it, but then your customers are still returning it, go look at the voice of the customers. Look at the reasons why they are returning it, and then address them. Maybe your customers are saying that your product is too small, or maybe that your customer is saying that your product is not working. Then if it's too small, then update the detail page. Make sure that you add the size information in the bullet points, in the title, and even add an image that shows how big your product in comparison with other products. That will really help them. And if they're saying that it is not working or defective, then make sure that you are adding an instruction on how to use the product on the either on the bullet points and images as well, and what products it is compatible with, so that they will stop returning it. Because if your customers are still buying it and returning it, even though you have all of those information already, then Amazon should not really delist your item. And I'm sharing this one because it's one of my personal experience with one seller, that it's a really good product. However, it's too small and customers are complaining that it is not working. So what I did is, sorry, just kind of venting right now, but I spent like hours and hours talking to Amazon support and seller performance team, trying to ask them to figure out what's going on, because they will not disclose the information to you. The
Right.
one who knows, the one reviewing your appeal is their internal team, and most of the times they will not disclose the information why they are declining your appeal. So I talked to the seller performance team. I said, okay, what's going on? Together we reviewed the voice of the customer. They gave the recommendation. I already updated it. And then I submitted an appeal. The next day they declined it, and they are telling me a different reason why they're declining my appeal. And so I edited again, added the information, and then decline again, and have to call again. What's going on? Until I really find the answer. And that's just really a really kind of difficult situation, both for me and the seller, because the seller are losing a lot of money.
Right.
So I'm trying my best to really help them release the ASIN right away. So yeah, my point is, if you can make your bullet points or your description to be descriptive enough, and also make sure that someone from your team is checking that voice of the customer, that's really important. If you're just ignoring the return reasons of your customer, then there is a high possibility that your listing will be delisted. Aside from the voice of the customer, you should also be downloading this returns report, because that will also give you more information why your customers are returning it.
Yeah. And the one thing too is that I just should be is an unspoken one, but is make sure your product's good quality, right? If you have a
Yes, of
bad
course.
quality product, you're gonna have these problems. So make sure that that should be just in general, you should have a good quality product. And then I would also say probably have some kind of inspection process, to make sure. You're also more likely to have these issues normally with like technical products, like something where they're like if you're selling like a speaker or like something where people are like very specific, like, does it work with XYZ? Does it work with this thing? Those I feel like can oftentimes, but to summarize what you just said, the majority of the prevention tactics are just beyond having quality and inspected goods, like make sure your listing answers any question someone would have, and then continue to monitor your return reasons from customers so you can see what they're saying about it. And we know not everyone's telling the truth. I mean, sometimes people are just returning something and choosing the easiest option, and and so a lot of times it's user error too, but Amazon's customer centric, so they're not going to care about that really. Um, that's the prevention stuff. If you get a listing that is deactivated, how do you get it fixed? And you've kind of already
Well,
talked a little bit about this.
there's also, I mean, it's just not one way solution to resolve it. Because if you go to your detailed account health, and then you find that ASIN that got delisted, Amazon will give you two options. Either one, you dispute it, or second, you are acknowledging it and that you are taking action. And so, I mean, based on just on my experience, acknowledging the complaints from your customer is the best way to do it, and provide Amazon what are the actions that you have taken to address those complaints. And again, you have to make sure that you are addressing those complaints from your customers. Amazon is very customer centric. They will not care about your product, how, let's say, the quality of your product, how compliant are you in producing it. As long as there is a complaint from your customer that you are not addressing, then they will not accept it. So
Yeah.
disputing is also an option. Like, if you really believe that those customers who returned your items are, I mean, the what they're saying are not true, you can dispute. But part of disputing is providing all the evidences, invoices. If you are the manufacturer, then you don't need to provide the invoice. Just provide a copy, a copy of your trademark, your business registration, inspection report, and then how your products are being produced, instruction manual, everything that will help to I mean, Amazon to understand how your product works. Then you can dispute it. But then
Mm.
again, what I'm trying to say is the easiest way is to to just acknowledge it and provide Amazon the actions you've taken. And I'm sharing this because I had this really long conversation with my client, because they are not agreeing to dispute it, or rather to acknowledge it. They really want to dispute it, telling that, oh, all of these customers are just lying, yada 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 yada. But it's not working like that.
Yeah.
You have to really
Take
just
a lot more
acknowledge
time.
it. Yeah, do the preventive measures, and how will you and then the actions that you have taken to address them.
Yep. Cool. Anything else to add? Otherwise, I think that's pretty comprehensive. But what else you want? Anything else you want to add on this?
No, yeah, that's the only thing. Again, my reminder is keep on checking your voice of the customers, the return reasons, even the reviews coming from your customers
Yep.
on
Have a good
the
quality
product
product.
reviews.
Yeah, have a good quality product, inspect it. If you do get a takedown, you're gonna have to just deal with the headache of just back and forth with seller support to get it fixed. So better to have a good quality product and then make sure you have a really good listing that answers all the questions and monitor that voice of the customer. All right. I think that's it for this one then. If anyone does have any issues, they need some help with resolving an issue like this, feel free to reach out to Arvin and myself. Our LinkedIn's are probably going to be down in the description or comments below. And let us know if there's any other video topics you want us to go over in the comments. All right. Cheers.
Bye.